I'm having video issues. This session of whatever it is not wanting to get recorded. So this is coming out in chunks. This would be chunk 3. Anyway, so we're in the middle of sites. We're talking about adding a video to the bottom. It's pretty easy. There are so many things you can add. You can just play around with whatever you want to do. I want to show you really quick also adding something from your drive. So I just went to here. I have like the slides on how to organize your Google slide, your drive. I also have our presentation. So it's so easy to add drive stuff, which is just the best. You just click over, you're still in insert, you click on drive. You can type in, if you remember kind of what it was called, the name of it, if it's something that you were recently working on. I love to go up to here to recent because then I find a lot of things. You just double click and it's going to pop in the most available spot. Now you can, again, move it wherever you want it to go. I'm actually going to delete this because I don't need it in here. But you can see that on this particular page, I have some text. I have a title text. I have some subtext, or that's probably even normal. And then I have 2 different slide presentations and a video. You can put as much as you want on here. If you want to take a quick peek and we can see what does my viewers see, I can click over there and I can scroll down. And again, they can see my slides in a small little thingy. I know there's a name for that. Or you can make it bigger. The student can make it bigger. You can go directly to slides and they can see it through that way too. And then there's also a video. And again, you can watch it small in a thumbnail. Oh, I remembered. Or you can make it bigger. So that is just an overview of Google Sites and different things that you can do with it. I'm going to go ahead and go into Google Forms. And again, I like to start in my drive so I can put the form where I want it. Again, you go to New. And actually, before I do that, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to my presentation and I'm going to go to Why. Why am I taking you to Forms? We've got too many things to deal with. But Forms is a fantastic way to get organize your information. If you have, especially for the second grade up, questions that you want to ask your students and the data kind of information, you want to have it all in one spot. Forms is fantastic for that. It's very easy to set up. It links with everything in your drive. I also use it for my parents so they can tell me, what's the email they really want you to contact them at, because a lot of times they'll give you the school an email and then you're like, yeah, I can't reach you through that. What's the real one? Or a phone number or, different things. So this is a great place for the parents to give you the real information. So I really like that. It also can organize your information into some really neat graphs and charts, which I am going to show you that. So let's see where it is. Okay, so like I said, I just go into the drive I want, and then I come over here and I click New. And again, it doesn't pop up. Only those 3 things pop up. But you can see that when you go to More, Google Forms is like the first thing that comes up next. But there's also a drop-down arrow. You can use one of their templates or you can create a blank form. So you can play around with that. I'm not going to spend time with that right now, but you can definitely play around with that. So just click on a Google form, create it and share it. The one thing I will say is that this form is anonymous, or you can get it from email. But trying to decipher who's who on our student emails, that drives me batty. We're all 2020 something AB or CK or whatever. And I hate trying to figure out who those people are. So the first question I always ask is write your name and number. Number 1, name and number if you use them, first and last names, whatever you choose to do. But always ask for that. That doesn't say number 1. Always ask for that first so that that's the first thing that you see. And when I show you some of my responses, spreadsheet responses, you'll see what I mean. You would title it. Whatever you put in here will populate up there if that's what you choose up here. Everything in this saves automatically. Which reminds me, in sites, I'm going to kick back super quick because I forgot to mention this. When you're in the working mode, there is this publish button. So you can change sites whenever you want, but every time you make a change to it, you're going to want to hit publish. It's kind of like that save mode, but that allows you to work in sites and make changes while other people have access to it, and you're not ready for them to see it yet. So it's a really cool thing. You can still work in it and nobody sees anything until you hit publish. So sorry, we're talking sites here. We're talking that one. I'm now going back to forms, but I just remembered that I forgot to share that in this video. So I've got my title. I don't really worry about a description or anything. You can add a million things in these. There's tons of different things you can do with it. There's all these settings. You can preview, use your add-ons, click into here and play with your settings. There's all these different things. I'm not going over them right now because this is just an overview. But again, anytime you want to play with these things, I'm always creating something so we can get together and make some new things. So there's one question. Over here on the side is where you add your questions. Where's my other question? Oh, okay. So I guess I needed to click on this one and then add it. So it would go below. This guy I'm going to move. You can go bye-bye. One thing you want to make sure is you see this required. This kind of bugs me. I wish it defaulted to required, but every question you want to make sure they answer, you click over to make it required. I don't know why that's there, but I'm sure there's a really good reason. So then you just keep adding your questions. Number 2, you have options. You can make it multiple choice. Yeah, all those options. Just click on the little drop down and play around and do whatever you want. I have not played with 80% of these. I usually use short answer, paragraph, or multiple choice, but whatever's working for you. There are a ton of fun things you can do with forms, but I'm going to kind of stop there with that. You can add videos, you can add images, you can add all kinds of things to it. It's pretty dang cool. I haven't even touched the surface with my understanding. What I am going to do is go back to a form that we did in our group and show you what it looks like when people have put some answers in. So this was one that I had. I inserted an image at the beginning and I titled it. This is not a form it was kind of anonymous. I can't say that word very well, but anyway, didn't know who was answering what, which was fine. So I have some multiple choice and some short and long answer. The cool part is when you go over up, so there's one side tab with the questions, and then there's the tab with the responses. And that one's fun because it automatically generates cool things like pie charts and graphs. It will give you all the information that everybody answered. But if you have like multiple choice, it will show you, the largest percentage. They automatically color code it. You maybe could adjust that. I don't know. I haven't gone there. So you can have responses. You can have them by question. Look up, okay, what did people learn? What was the first response? You can do it that way. You can also look by individuals. What was each one? Another one, which will create a spreadsheet for you, which the word spreadsheet gives me hives, but this is a pretty useful tool. You can just click on that little green spreadsheet icon, and it will generate that information in a spreadsheet for you. And so if I had, names and numbers on here, they would be matched up with their emails, whatever information I asked, each person goes straight across. So, just like a regular spreadsheet. I think this is a very cool option. And once you get into Google Sheets, then you can do some crazy things with it as well. So I just wanted to introduce you to forms and show you some of the options that you could do with it. I know that that seems kind of like a crazy thing with the little kids, but it might really help you with your parents. I used it with my students. So I'm going to show you really quick for feedback. Also during when I had our with distance learning in the spring. So every Monday, sometimes Friday too, but we would do goal setting, and I would ask them just super quick questions, not anything big deal. Okay, so this actually had our video that we always used to play before during our goal setting time, and then I would have their responses. Those are the kids who responded, and then this is the spreadsheet that would pop up. So I could see, you know, who responded and what was their answer. So that was a very, very helpful and useful tool. So that kind of is pretty much what we covered. Let's see if I can get there. We walked through, I gave you some examples of forms, and we just kind of asked any questions that we had. So I hope this was a little bit helpful for you. I know getting new information is always crazy, but if you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it.